here on the front page of the Washington Examiner. Company wants Pentagon to microchip troops. That's right. Check it out. Go to examiner.com. It was in there on Monday, August 21st. There's a company that is trying to lobby to have our troops.
It takes 3 or 4 pages to describe, and it will be connected with our driver's licenses. The states will be instructed on exactly what they have to do. Social security numbers will be used. Some type of a physical proof, such as fingerprints or retinal prints, have to be on it.
Technology on the cutting edge. We were interested today to hear that more than 100 law enforcement officials in Mexico are having microchips implanted in their arms. The chips allow a person to be scanned, sort of like a cereal box at the supermarket checkout. In Mexico, this will be one more tool in the fight against crime. Here's ABC's John McKenzie.
You've seen it before, right out of Hollywood.
It's maybe a little uncomfortable.
A microchip inside the body. A hidden, high-tech identification tag.
They're the access codes to your drop spot.
Now, Mexico's Attorney General and 160 of his deputies have had microchips implanted in their arms to control access to the country's new Criminal Investigation Center. It is to provide access, said the Attorney General, to the right people in exclusive areas where there is valuable, sensitive information. The microchip, the size of a grain of rice, is injected under the skin and gives off a low-frequency radio wave. A scanner reads each chip's identification number.
Back in 1999, Procter & Gamble, Gillette, and MIT got together to find a way to commercialize this technology and make it small enough, make it efficient enough, and make it low cost enough to, essentially, their dream is to put one of these tiny computer chips on every physical item manufactured on planet Earth. The latest technology for identifying people at the point of sale, for identifying people when they make purchases, is actually the implantable chip that you can actually embed directly into human flesh. It's a tiny glass capsule about the size of a grain of rice. It contains an RFID computer chip with a coiled antenna, and it can transmit information also at a distance.
Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement? There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that, mark my words, before your tenure is over.
Homeland Security folks, the Department of Defense, and others have expressed an interest in being able to more closely monitor the U.S. populace. And one way to do that, of course, would be being able to determine who buys what and where they take those things. They were talking about having reader devices in every airport, on every bus, on every train, on every port, on every dock. One of the most worrisome applications of RFID are proposals to put them into cash, meaning that you would be able to track every banknote, where it had been, who it had been issued to, and create, in essence, an audit trail. That would essentially take away the anonymity of cash that we now enjoy today. The ATM machine itself, as the money came through the roller device, would be reading each number, and they would know who you are because, of course, you identify yourself at the bank before you take money out. And down the road, when you go to pay at a major retailer, it would also be possible for them, as they're putting the money into the cash drawer, to simply feed it through a little reader device. It would go in. It would tag that number and transfer possession from Aaron Russo, say, to Walmart. Once everything you do is tied down to a single number and there is no longer the ability to pay with cash, then all it takes to render you a non-citizen is to simply turn that chip off. You will no longer be able to really participate in any function in society, including buy food.
And this is, for those of you who don't know what the mark of the beast is, that's a chapter in Revelations where it speaks about no one can buy nor sell save they receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. Now, we're living in a day and age where this is possible. Not only is it possible, but it's actually being done. Animals are being chipped. People are giving themselves over to be chipped. We have soldiers being chipped. This is a mark. This is a way of identifying someone. And there's all kinds of secular positive reasons for this. There can be many positive aspects to being numbered, like a cereal box on a supermarket shelf. But we're not cereal boxes. We're not products that can be bought and sold. We're human beings with unalienable rights given to us by God. Now, one of the rights I have as a sentient creature created in the image of God is to have the freedom to go where I want, to live where I want, to work where I want, within the bounds of the laws that we have, you know. But if these laws strip me of freedoms and say that I can't do this or I can't do that because I happen to be a Christian or Jew. I mean, remember, some 65 years ago, we marked, not we, but Germans marked Jews to categorize them like chattel. There are men living today that still bear the marks. Don't take the mark. Even if a pastor says it's all right, don't do it. You should believe the Word of God rather than believe man. 9/11 brought in a whole bunch of reasons why we should take the mark of the beast, you know. You got Andy Rooney on the YouTube saying he wants to live in a world where good people can be identified. Well, you know, having a mark, having a chip implanted in your forehead or in your hand doesn't identify you as a good person. We have these cards, these plastic cards that can identify us as citizens of the United States, but what they're trying to say is we need a way to positively identify someone where we can take the image and connect it to your physical form that you don't need. We're a paperless society, a plastic, cashless society, in a way in which we can connect you with the zeros that are in your bank account. We have to somehow chip you, stamp you, number you, tattoo you, mark you, just like a product code on any product. You know, here's a product with a product code right here. So, you know, imagine this product code attached to you, and you got it stamped on your forehead. You know, now you are your number. You're not a man anymore. You're not a human being, but you're a number. You're just a number. You're just another brick in the wall, a statistic. And apparently this chip will have transmitting qualities so that you can walk into a building and the building responds to you. Remember that movie Minority Report with Tom Cruise? He walks into a department store and he's recognized by the retina scan. We're living in a day and age where you can sit in your car and you won't need a key because the mark or the chip in your head will access the controls of the car. And this all sounds all well and good, but the fact of the matter is, this strips away your privacy. It strips it away, it takes it away, but then people will say, well, I've got nothing to lose, I've got nothing to hide. Well, neither do I. I just don't want the government watching every move I make. Do you? Do you trust the government that much? People who read the Bible and believe the Bible is the Word of God and say, I am not going to take the mark of the beast, despite the fact that my preacher, my minister is telling me to do so, and submit myself to the authorities that are telling me that I need to take the mark of the beast in order to be a part of the system, because I can't buy or sell, save I have the mark of the beast. Do you understand what I'm saying? The Bible is not telling us to submit ourselves to jackboot Nazis, posing as red-blooded Americans. And if a preacher tells you to submit yourself to a jackboot Nazi, this man is wrong. And if a preacher is telling you to take the mark of the beast, this man is mistaken. Do not take the mark of the beast. Do not take the chip, whatever it may be, in your forehead, in your shoulder, in your back. Don't take the chip.